Believe anything at this point? Yeah. Okay. Good afternoon. I am calling to order our regularly scheduled meeting of the Intergovernmental Relations Committee. My name is Elizabeth Glidden. I'm the chair of this committee, and I'm joined today by council members Andrew Johnson, Councilmember Cano, Fry, and Quincy, and we are a quorum of the committee. And we have 3 items of business before us today. The first item is regarding our federal representation services, and it's to execute amendment number 2 to a contract with Fagery Baker Daniels Consulting in the amount of $120,000 for continued services. Mr. Ranieri, I didn't know if you had any comments for us to make on this, but these are our existing lobbyists that focus on federal matters for us.
Madam Chair, that is correct. This is same amount of money. We did a lot of review and put it into the contract and into the RCA. We would like to look over the summer and see if we want to change our arrangement. This would be the 3rd year of a 3-year agreement with Fagery. And also we have an agreement with Lockridge Grindle. So we want to probably analyze, what should we be doing and where should we be going with federal contracts.
So how, with this extension, how long will this take us through with their services?
This would take us through March 31st of 2015.
Okay, thank you very much. And then we can look for a process to review what should be our services into the future.
That is correct, Madam Chair.
Okay, thank you very much. Questions from committee members? Then I will go ahead and move approval of this amendment. And Mr. Ranieri, did you have an additional comment for us on this?
Madam Chair, as you're aware, by our ethics ordinance, there will be comments coming from the city attorney's office on this contract and also Lockridge, and I think they're fairly clean. There is no concern. We did have a concern with Lockridge because they represent an awful lot of folks in transportation, and we were worried about Southwest Corridor, but they were clear.
Okay.
And that
well, I will just say, just to keep things clear, we don't have any matters with Lockridge before us right now. Just this matter with Fagery Baker Daniels, and I do think if there is a conflict form for us to be aware of, I think that comes forward separately. So I'll just look to Ms. Siegel. I think we're just very regular in our process at this point.
Yeah, Madam Chair, that is correct.
Okay, thank you. And thank you for alerting the committee to these issues. They are fairly regular as we look at our contracts with lobbying firms that assist the city, that we do these conflict checks, as do the firms. And I believe I did make the motion for approval. I'm not seeing discussion. All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed? And that item is approved. Next, we have a report on federal, state, and local updates. And Mr. Ranieri, I know we have some major news to share. So,
Madam Chair, a couple things. First, at the federal level, as you are aware, the city adopted a position on invasive carp about 2 years ago. And one of the elements of that proposal was to close the lock and dam at the Upper St. Anthony. And legislation was introduced by Congressman Ellison and Senator Klobuchar to do that, and it's made its way through all the way to the Conference Committee on Water Resources, and happy to report that Conference Committee report includes that language. What's different is that when we were working on it, we suggested a threshold, a study of the economics. This just says shut it down within a year. There is no study necessary or anything of that nature. So it's a pretty clear cut. The concern is, of course, will it be maintained? And the Corps is obligated to maintain it, because if there is a flood issue or we need to regulate the river, they have the authority to do that. So it's a pretty good language. In discussing this with our Fagery and others, we are now going to try and see if we can find some resources to help with some of the economic impact, particularly upriver with some of the projects that could be developed. So we'll be talking to you about that in the near future. So that's what's happened at the federal level, and I think that's a good win for us, for the city.
Yeah, I will just note this is a really major item. I know it took also some heavy lifting from our congressional delegation, with a special thank you to both of our senators, but especially Senator Klobuchar, along with Senator Franken, who was of great assistance, and then Congressman Ellison, who really took a leadership role and secured the support of the entire Minnesota delegation, I believe. So thank you.
And have Congressman Ellison get it into the bill as a minority member. It's pretty great.
Yes.
Madam Chair, another item is, it's not on the agenda, but it's something, last year, you're aware, the city of Minneapolis supported and did an awful lot of work on the DREAM Act. And many groups worked on that. There were about, many groups. On Friday night, the Immigration Law Center announced their state advocates for the year, and the city of Minneapolis is one of those. So Mr. Espinoza has a copy, has the plaque, and we'll bring it to the committee meeting next time and make a formal presentation. But it was pretty cool to be up there with the University of Minnesota and others, and to have our city recognized. So thank you.
Yeah, no, thank you. And it sounds like we're going to have a little bit more time at a future meeting to talk more about this, but just some heavy lifting on behalf of staff. And of course, thank you to Mr. Espinoza, who has just played an immense role. But I just have to say also thank you to you, Mr. Ranieri. Really helped take folks under your wing, help use your expertise to move the issue forward. And I think our staff as a whole did a great job in helping be a strong partner in this work.
I'm sure that's now for what's happening at the Capitol today. The legislature is 3 or 4 days away from adjourning. They can only do work up until Sunday, and Monday if they're going to adjourn on Monday, they can't take any business. So usually that's the day for speeches and gifts. Sunday's the last day. Right now, the legislature has not closed the tax bill, nor have they closed the omnibus supplemental bill or the bonding bill. The tax bill was done about a week ago, but hasn't been closed because they never know they may need to do something in the tax bill. At this moment, there's discussion on trying to find ways to have more revenue for the Lewis and Clark water project in southwest Minnesota. And there's nothing official yet, but the committee has none of the three committees have finalized that discussion. So Southwest, that issue is really key. In terms of what's happening in the tax bill, we've gone over it several times. There's still the property tax relief that the House wanted is in the final report. So that's LGA increase. There's also some one-time increase in market and homestead credit, and also renter's credit. So the House really wanted property tax relief, and that's there. There's also ag property tax relief. Several issues we'll have a report to you in the next meeting on more of the details of the tax bill, but that's where it stands right now. The supplemental budget bill is plodding along. It may be finished as I speak. What we see in there is some disappointment and some hope. Some disappointment is that there is money for SCORE, but it's coming out of the supplemental. It's coming out of the environmental fund, $4 million out of environment, which basically will cause a rearrangement of the PCA's budget because that's how they're funded. So if there's any additional money from the Environment Fund, it would go to SCORE. So it'd be $4 million this year, then $3 million into the base. And that's SCORE. Also in SCORE, or in another bill, is a requirement for, in the metro area, commercial industrial properties to be involved in recycling. And that, I think, has passed, but I'll check on that. Other issues in the supplemental budget are some transportation funding. Not an awful lot of money, but there is some money for the 3rd Avenue Bridge project. That's a trunk highway, and there's $1 million in there for MnDOT to work on 3rd Avenue. Other things in that bill to be decided are some other environmental issues and economic development issues have been, that bill has been finished this morning. There's little money, I think there's like $30 million for the biennium there, and much of that is going to broadband throughout the state. In terms of the liquor bill, it passed, and I think it's been signed by the governor. And the city council will have 2 and possibly 3 decisions. 2 decisions are 2 local bills for the Swedish American Institute and for the Minneapolis Institute of Art. There will be, and Mr. Wilson's worked on those, and they will be coming forward after the session. Also, there is as part of that massive bill is legislation to allow cities in Hennepin County on the night of the All-Star Game and the night before the All-Star Game to keep their bars open till 4 o'clock. That's a local decision and not be something the council would have to determine. Also in it is the language that I know the chair and others are very concerned about, is the ability to have other ways to revocate a license, and that's in the bill. So that's good news too. In terms of other things, medical marijuana, they'll be in conference committee this week. The bills are very far apart. And Senator Dibble is the chair of the conference committee on the Senate side. The Senate bill is a little bit, does more things than the House bill, but the House bill seems to be favored by public safety folks and I think also the governor. So they will go to conference and we'll see what happens there. The automatic license plate reader bill is not going to happen this year. It'll probably come back next year. The conference committee just made a decision not to move forward. The other bills that are moving along, I think that we finished with the scrap metal bill. The cell phone bills are done, and then the other pollinator bill passed yesterday in the Senate, and I think the House will take the Senate language. And Madam Chair, that's a quick wrap up. There's a lot more going on. A lot of things are in flux right now, and I'll try to answer any questions. I do know one thing: the driver's license bill that we've been working on as another part of our Latino engagement task force. I just got a message from Mr. Mariano saying there was a break, so I need to know. I don't know what that is. However, they've been working very closely with leadership to see if we can get that bill heard.
Yes, and I'll just say I think we're right now in an environment where lots of things are happening extremely quickly. Even as we were sitting here, I got a message from your partner, Melissa Lesh, that there may be some meeting of the minds on the medical marijuana bill. So I guess we'll look forward to see if in fact that is the case and what that means. I didn't get any details other than we may be closer than originally thought on finding some meeting of the minds here. So lots of things happening quickly. And of course, thank you so much. I know a lot of intense long days and nights are going on. Just really want to say how much we respect our staff team for working hard on the goals of the city. Councilmember Johnson, did you want to make a comment or a question?
Yeah, thank you, Madam Chair. I would just like to note that I saw that as well, that a compromise has been reached between the House and the Senate and the Dayton administration on medical marijuana, with details coming out later this afternoon, but it does appear that we will be the 22nd state to legalize medical marijuana.
Wow.
I stand corrected on my prior comments.
Okay. And as I said, we'll wait to hear the details, wait to hear more. But as everyone can understand, a lot of things happening very quickly, and things that we thought might not be possible. Sometimes the impossible actually is possible. So never say never. That's right.
And it's not over till it's over. But Madam Chair, that's where we are.
How many more quips can we have? Yeah.
I don't know. That's all we have for now, and we will just try to keep you posted. And if folks want to come over, and we want to thank all the committee members. I know you've all been involved in either phone calls or talking to legislators, so they tell us that, and we really appreciate that. And our delegation has just been fantastic. They both the House and the Senate, and our leadership has been really helpful to us. So thank you.
Thank you. And I can't remember if you mentioned the cell phone kill switch or not, but just again, both Councilmember Fry and Council President Johnson involved in that one, and just another example, as you can see, the committee as a whole being extremely involved in all sorts of different pieces of legislation. I just want to say thank you to my colleagues as well for your involvement on so many issues, and I know it is really appreciated, and I think it's important that we spread these opportunities and the work to all the council members so we all can learn from the process.
Madam Chair, we agree with that, and we have had several members either make calls or email or testify. I know Councilmember Quincy did testify on the airport stuff.
Okay. So I think there is a receive and file action on this report, so I'll go ahead and move to receive and file this report. All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed? And we have one final action, and this is regarding a proposed charter amendment regarding filing fees for municipal elections. There has been several discussions of this item at different committees of the council over the last year, I guess I might say, although this is the first time that this issue has been referred to this specific committee, but we are the committee that does take the first crack at considering charter amendments. And so this is a recommended ordinance from the Charter Commission amending Chapter 2, Section 13 of the Minneapolis City Charter relating to officers, elections, filing for election, specifying the filing fee for candidates for election at any city election. And I apologize, I do not, all I have in front of me is the transmittal, the backside does have the actual language. So just my question was, did we have posted the actual language of what the change would be? And it looks like we do, just as we were trying to kind of set that standard in our committees so that the public has the most information possible. But our action here today would be to set a public hearing for June 5th, 2014 meeting to consider this charter amendment. And I don't know if Ms. Siegel had any other comments for us on that other than we are taking the action as is required to set the public hearing. And it's no surprise that this action was moving forward. And in fact, I think the City Council had requested from the Charter Commission to resend this issue that had been sent to us previously, but due to some of the plain language charter amendments, we could not take action on it as it was originally presented. So with that, I'll move that we set the public hearing for June 5th. Discussion, seeing none, all in approval, please say aye. Aye. Opposed? That item is set. And with that, I believe we have concluded with our business, and we are adjourned. Thank you very much.